Hi everyone, my name is Jenny Hobbs. I'm a Beachbody coach and I want to tell you a little bit about how I got started and my story and what I love about it and how it's really already started to change my life just in a short time. So first of all, I got started with Beachbody in January of 2012. I was trying to lose weight. I had a pretty busy schedule. I'm a doctor and I was working, my hospital shifts, which are 12-hour days, plus a commute, and I would do that 7 days in a row and then have 7 days off and kind of that alternating pattern. So I was really having these long, busy days. It was hard to fit in workouts, but I was trying to go to the gym. I was actually ran a couple of marathons, did some marathon training, which was very time consuming. And I did all those things and I wasn't losing weight. So in the beginning of 2012, I connected with my friend Tanya, whom I had known from high school, who was doing Beachbody, got hooked up with proper nutrition, some great recipes, Beachbody program, Shakeology, which was, really surprisingly to me because I wasn't a shake person before. I really loved it. And then of course she got me into a challenge group and I actually made friends with some amazing people who still to this day are good friends of mine. And I had this great fit community and it was so cool to have that accountability and support, and it really helped me stick to it. After about 3 to 4 months, I had already lost about 30 pounds. People were asking me, what are you doing? And just, wanting to know more, and so I was sharing what I was doing. I wasn't coaching, but I did refer those people back to Tanya, and then at some point along the way I signed up as what we call a discount coach to save a little money on my Shakeology, but it was nice. I didn't have any pressure to do anything with it, and I was super busy with my other job, so I didn't really have that interest. But I was having a great time with this hobby of sort of staying fit and posting every day in my groups and learning more about eating healthy and getting new fitness programs to challenge myself. So about a year into that, I had a really sort of heartbreaking experience at my real job, in my job in the hospital. I had been on a leadership committee and I had really worked very hard. I'm a doctor, a perfectionist kind of person, and I felt like I had just given my heart and soul to a lot of projects for my team and for the hospital, and I was voted off of that committee. I was feeling like, gosh, this was a popularity contest, and there must be something about me that's just not right, and they don't appreciate all the work that I did, and why have I poured so much of myself into this thing, and now it's just been taken away from me. And it was just really a soul-searching time. I wasn't sure that I wanted to continue putting so much into this environment that didn't seem to really hold what I maybe thought it had for me. So as I was doing this soul searching, I talked some more with Tanya, my coach, and I kind of decided, I'm just gonna have some fun with coaching. It's fun. It's not really work anyway. It's just a cool hobby that I have. I'm posting in the groups anyhow. People are asking me all the time, why don't I just run some of my own groups and have fun with it? So I did that, and I really enjoyed it. It was great. Started getting more and more fired up about fitness and posting more and connecting with people, and I just love the positive atmosphere of working with the other coaches and being on that team. So then a few months later I got pregnant, and it was great because throughout my pregnancy I was still surrounded with all these fit people. I was able to stay very active and healthy throughout that time, working out, and I also continued coaching, which was a lot of fun. And then my son was born, and I started thinking more and more about what exactly I wanted out of this coaching thing. Around that time, I was able to connect some more with some coaches who do this for their full-time job. I went to our yearly meeting, which is called Summit, last June, and there, one of the speakers was a woman who had a career as an attorney who had recently left her job to do Beachbody full-time. And she talked about how, the reason she did it was for her kids, because, it meant so much to them that she was able to be more flexible to walk them to and from school, be around for different events, and she had also realized that in terms of income potential, she could actually make as much or more doing Beachbody, but still be able to spend more time with her family than she could as an attorney. And that was a huge eye-opening moment for me, because I think up until that point I wasn't really sure that Beachbody held anything that could compare to my current career. But then I started thinking back about what had happened the year before, and I thought, gosh, I like being a doctor, but it puts my job first. It takes me away from my family, so I can't put my family first as much as I would like. Then I pour so much of myself into it, and things just don't always sort of correlate. So it's not like the harder I work as a doctor, the better I do. There's a lot of things that are outside my control, and a lot of people, whether it's in the hospital system or patients or whoever, they just don't really appreciate how hard I'm working, and I don't see that. So I really just started pondering a lot of these things, comparing Beachbody to medicine and how much I wanted to do of both. And I think having a young baby made that even more of a tough comparison for me, because I looked at fellow coaches, people like Tanya. She was able to support her entire family with her income, working 20 hours a week from anywhere. So she's able to be there for her kids all of the time, and give them, first priority, 100%. And then she can work Beachbody around them. And it's been very nice for her. And I watched that happening, and her being able to take trips with her family and still work. And here I am, trying to figure out some time off, trying to juggle vacation schedules with my husband. And I thought, gosh, I want that freedom of time. And I don't see that that's going to be a reality for me in my current job. So another big turning point for me was a few months ago. My son was quite sick, and it was one of my days off. So I was able to, be with him in the morning, and then I was able to take him to the doctor's office, bring him home, get him down for a nap, all these kinds of things. In the middle of that day, I also managed to talk with several people about Beachbody, got to share my story. I got to work with my team of coaches and get them ramped up and trained. So I was able to do a lot of things in that day for Beachbody that actually did make me income. However, my son would never have known, because I was able to just do it around the time that he needed from me. So I was really able to give him 100% of my focus when he was sick. And the following day, I had to go back to my job at the hospital. And it was just such a stark comparison. I was up and out of the house before Charlie, my son, even woke up. I didn't see him at all. I saw him for maybe half an hour before bed at night. And then I had to do it for 6 more days in a row for my 7-day stretch of work. And I thought, wow, in both cases, both of these days, I got to work, which is important to me. I always saw myself as a working mom and as a career type of person. So on both of those days, I got to do something that I felt passionate about, do something that had meaning for me, help people get healthy, feel like I'd accomplished something. And at the same time, on one of those days, I was able to also give 100% to Charlie, and to do it on my own terms, on my own schedule. On the other day, it was completely on someone else's terms, someone else's schedule. And frankly, a lot more exhausting and a lot less appreciation was given to me. So, I really compared those 2 days, and I said, I want more out of my life. I don't want to just be going to and from a job that pays me pretty well and gives me a certain amount of status. What I want is freedom of time with my son, and that is the most important thing. And I said, it was really eye-opening. Beachbody was the way to do that, not medicine. And that was kind of the first time I really think I believed that. So, over the course of the last 6 to 8 months, that process has happened where I see Beachbody as my career that I want. And, I'm not saying that I'm not going to continue being a doctor, but I am saying that I think I can do more to help people with their health. I think I can make just as great an impact, if not more of an impact, with Beachbody. And I can do it while still having the freedom of time for my family that is so important to me now. And, I probably will always be doing medicine in some capacity, whether it's volunteering, whether it's, a little bit of part-time work or, per diem work. But what my goal is now, and my vision that drives me is, I want to not be tied to my job at the hospital. I want to be on my own terms, helping people get healthy in the best way that I see fit, and also being there for my family. And what's great is that I have that vision and I can see it happening right before my eyes. Over the last 6 to 8 months since I made that transition, I have more than doubled my income with Beachbody. I have also tripled the size of my team that I'm working with, and things are just, the growth is really explosive. I'm excited. I find myself at night, with tons of ideas writing down and wishing I had more time to spend on Beachbody, which is exactly the opposite of how I feel about my other job, where I feel like I'm putting in my time. With Beachbody, it's like, I have a few minutes here, I want to sit down and work on that idea I had for my team, or that idea for a challenge group, or that idea for whatever. So I think that's when you know that you're doing something that's truly your passion, is when you can't stop thinking about it and talking about it with everybody. So this has been a long video. I don't want to belabor it too much, but I do want to make one final very important point. One of the reasons that Beachbody is such an amazing career is the focus that they have on making yourself better, and that's not just physical. This is, not just about looking good and losing weight, and I think a lot of people misunderstand that about Beachbody. This is actually about being a healthy person overall, and one of the things that I'm required to do as a Beachbody coach is to spend, 10 minutes a day at least making myself better, reading or listening to something that makes me better. So through that, I've learned to be nicer, I've learned to be more patient, I've learned to set better goals, be more disciplined, more organized, to have more vision, more creativity, and I never really got any push to do that through my job as a doctor. Most of the push is to be faster, to get through things more quickly, but nobody really encourages you to sit down and take time to really make yourself better overall as a person. And it's too bad. I think more careers should do that. But it's just been so eye-opening to me that I've realized I was neglecting a whole side of my personality that I'm able to really exercise through this, which is constantly getting better, staying positive, learning more. And I guess the final thing I should say about that is that, now when I compare the people I meet through Beachbody and the things that I do with this versus other parts of my previous life, I'm just amazed. It's the community of Beachbody and of our team in particular is so positive, so uplifting, so energetic, and it's just, it's something that really resonates with me. And I remember how I was back in the day before I did all this medical training. I was a, extroverted person. I socialized all the time. I was really, really interested in human connection. And I feel like part of my training and getting older and being busy, I really lost a lot of that. And so it's been so fun to find a job where I can actually get paid for talking to people, making myself better, making connections, and just sharing something that I'm really passionate about. And I guess I never thought that it was possible to be able to do that. And so I'm just really excited to share that opportunity with you as well and say, excuse me, this is really what you make of it. You can start out and do it as a fun hobby like I did, or you can do what I'm doing now and say I want this to be my career and I have a vision for making a better life for myself and my family, or anywhere in between, and there is the space for you for any of those visions that you may have for yourself. So I hope this has been helpful. I know it was long, but I really wanted to connect with you and let you know why I do what I do, why I invited you to learn more about it. And please ask questions, contact me, and if this sounds like something that you would also want to do, I would love to connect with you and talk about how we can get you started off right. So have a great weekend, everybody, and I look forward to chatting with you. Thanks.